Look at her, pretending to be so brave. She is nothing.
She deserves whatever the king decides. Fresh bread, still warm.
2 coins for a loaf! Finest pottery here.
Strong clay, good price.
In an age of empires and endless power, one king believed everything had a price. Gold could buy loyalty, love, even wisdom. But one day, in a crowded slave market, he met a girl whose worth could not be measured in coins. Her price was higher than anyone's, and her words would soon change the king. Forever. The king stopped before the girl. "Why does the merchant demand such a high price for you?" he asked. The girl raised her eyes and said softly, "Because my value is not in beauty or strength, but in intelligence." The crowd laughed, but the king's curiosity only grew stronger. "Then let's test that," said the king. He raised his hand, and the marketplace fell silent. "I will ask you 5 questions. Answer them correctly, and I'll set you free. But if you fail, you will die." The girl didn't flinch. "Ask, my lord," she said. The king smiled. This was no ordinary slave. "The first question," said the king.
The most precious clothing?
The most precious clothing is... Wall is the single outfit owned by a poor man who has no other.
The girl turned to the merchant and said confidently, "Prepare my horse, because I will be leaving here free." The crowd gasped. "The most precious clothing," she said, "is the single outfit owned by a poor man who has no other. It covers him in winter and summer, in joy and sorrow. It is all he has, and that makes it priceless." The king blinked, impressed. The crowd murmured. This was not the answer they expected. The king leaned forward. "Then tell me,
What is the finest fragrance?"
The finest fragrance is...
The girl's eyes softened. "The scent of a mother," she said, "even if she works among cattle and carries burdens. To her child, no perfume is sweeter." The king was silent. For a moment, even the wind stopped. He thought of his own mother, long gone. Around him, the crowd bowed their heads in respect. "The third question," said the king. "What is the most delicious food?" The girl smiled. "The meal eaten by an empty stomach. Even dry bread tastes divine when hunger is real." The king nodded slowly. "Then what," he asked, "is the softest bed?" "The bed of a just ruler," she answered. "A tyrant can sleep on silk and velvet, yet never know peace. But a just ruler sleeps soundly, even on stone." The king clenched his hands, thinking of the many sleepless nights he had endured. A wave of murmurs swept the market. The people could feel truth in her words. Even the guards looked uncertain, their eyes softening toward the girl. The girl climbed onto her horse, ready to leave. But the king's voice stopped her. "You haven't answered my last question. What is the most beautiful country in the world?" The market grew quiet again. She turned her head and said clearly, "The most beautiful country is the one that is free, where no man lives as a slave, where rulers are neither cruel nor ignorant." Her voice echoed across the market like thunder. Even the king's crown felt lighter on his head. For the first time, he bowed his head, not as a ruler, but as a man who had just learned something greater than power. The king looked around, at the people, the merchants, his guards, and saw them differently. He saw their eyes filled not with fear, but with hope. He whispered, "Freedom. Perhaps that is the true throne." The girl smiled, bowed slightly, and rode away, not as a slave, but as a symbol of truth. The people watched in silence, knowing they had witnessed something sacred. Her answers lived on, retold for generations. They taught that power means nothing without justice, and freedom is the soul of every nation. Even today, her voice whispers through time. The most beautiful country is the one that is free. If this story touched your heart, share it, because somewhere, someone still believes that gold is worth more than wisdom. Let this story remind us, true beauty lies in freedom, kindness, and justice. Like this story? A hit like, comment, and subscribe for more powerful legends that awaken the soul. Together, let's keep the light of wisdom alive.